Hey guys, what's up? It's Katie, and it has been like 5 years since I've actually posted on my YouTube channel. I have attempted to come back so many times, to be honest. I have filmed update videos, I have filmed TBRs, wrap-ups, all kinds of different videos over the years. And you know what? You might actually see some of those because some of those ended up turning out pretty good. I edited a lot of them too. I'm sorry. I have to address this here. Buddy, this is not the time, okay? I have filmed so many videos over the years, and you may actually see some of those because some of them turned out quite good. I edited a lot of them, but never ended up posting them. Probably since 2018, I have attempted to come back to my YouTube channel, and I was pretty excited to do it every single year. And every single year I tried to get back into reading, and I did successfully one time. I think it was 2018. It might have been 2019. You'll know whenever I do the wrap-up of my years gone from YouTube, but one year I did an update video and I edited it and it was ready to go, and then I just never posted it. I felt really self-conscious because after so many years of trying to come back, I felt like, okay, I kind of have to do an update video. But it's now been 5 years, and at this point I feel like an update video is kind of irrelevant because it's not like I've just been gone for a month and I'm coming back and I'm like, oh, where I've been, even a year, and I'm coming back saying, oh, this is where I've been. I'm really starting from scratch at this point. BookTube is so different. The world is so different than it was when I first started, and my tastes are different. I am different. At this point, I feel like an update video really doesn't make any sense, so I figured I would take just a few minutes at the beginning of this video to just kind of touch on this rather than making a whole long drawn-out video about it. So I'll leave a timestamp here so you can skip to my March wrap-up if you are only interested in that. For now, I'll just kind of give a brief overview of what my plan is over the next couple of weeks coming back to YouTube. The next few videos you'll see from me are going to be probably 3 wrap-up videos over the last 5 years. I think I've got 2 of them are 2 years combined, and then one of them is a little bit longer, so it's 1 year. And you should be seeing those next. They've already been filmed because I want to talk about them. I read some really great ones, I read some not some really great ones, and I just think it would be fun to wrap those up for you guys in a separate video. There were some years where I only read like 2 or 3 books, but combined there's a good amount, obviously, because it's 5 years worth of books that, you know, we need to wrap up here. So if this video ends up getting posted, then you will know that I was actually successful this year. I was actually in 2020, right when the pandemic hit and I was home all the time and thought I'd be doing all this reading, I filmed a lot of videos. So you may actually end up seeing those at some point. For now, I'm not actually sure. I look totally different and I talk about, you know, I wish you guys could see what's happening right now. My cat is just begging me to pet him. Say hello, Wormy. He does not like to be held. He's a very independent kitty. He likes to be petted on his own time and his own time only. That is for sure. Today I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in March. I read 2 books, all in the second half of the... Ow! Buddy! All in the second half of the month. I'm going to wrap them up really quickly for you and talk about some of my hopes for April as well. First, this month I read Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This has been on my TBR for such a long time, and my roommates and I have been putting goals on our little board. It's the letter changer boards. I don't actually know what those are called, but we've been putting goals on that board basically since COVID hit last March in the US, or at least since it became a big deal. I suspect it's been around for a lot longer than that. We've been putting goals on our little letter boards, and this month's goal was to read 1 book. So there was, I think, one random Sunday where I was just like, I'm not in the mood to do any of the things I would normally do, which is pretty much just play in my planner, binge watch Grey's Anatomy or some other TV show or movie, or go for a run. So it was kind of quiet in my house. It was nice out, so I figured I would just go ahead and pick up a book. So I picked this up. If you're not familiar, it's about 2 characters who kind of discover that you can create these special abilities or like superpowers through near-death experiences. They're in college, it's their senior year, and it's their kind of thesis, and they decide to test it out to see if it works. And then it also kind of takes place in like present tense, where these 2 characters used to be best friends but are now arch enemies. their enemies. And it's a very interesting story because I don't think I've ever read a book where there's really no hero, where both main characters are actually the villains. And while they are antagonists of each other, they're both villains. However, whenever you kind of hear from their point of view, I mean, it's not first person, it's told in third person, but whenever you kind of see more into each of their point of views, you almost start to side with both of them at each given time and kind of see their logic, but they're both morally gray characters, which is a very interesting way for me to read. I really like dark and twisty. I really like mystery and thriller and crime and kind of this morally gray sort of story. It's kind of what I've come to really, really prefer and appreciate and find super interesting. This is an adult novel, I believe, or yeah, this is an adult novel, I believe, but it actually reads very easily. If you're someone like me who has a little bit of trouble focusing and reading things that are a little bit more thick, it's kind of the best way I can describe it, and very, you know, kind of that feeling that adult literature sometimes has that's just a little bit hard to understand. This is a very easy read. It's very easy to get through, and I really just flew through this in less than a week, and that's saying something because I've been in a reading slump since I left my channel the last time, and that's 5 years of a reading slump that I've been trying to get out of, that I almost got out of 1 year, but not quite. So to say that I actually finished this book in less than a week is really saying something. I thought it was fabulous, 5 out of 5 stars, and I cannot wait to read the next book in the duology, which is called Avengeful. Really, really excited to pick that one up. Okay, and then the second book that I have here to show you that I read in March is actually Me Before You. So you're not going to be all that surprised about this, but I am really proud of myself. I talked a lot about this in every single video where I talked about TBRs and books I wanted to finish in the year over the last 5 years when I've been filming videos but not actually posting them. I keep talking about this book and how I've been reading it for so long and I just really want to finish it. I started reading this book in 2017 when I took a solo trip to Texas, and it was just my airplane book that I read. I got halfway through it and then I stopped because it just was making me really sad and was kind of feeling a little depressing. If you're not familiar, this is a romance novel about a gentleman who gets in an accident at the very beginning of the book and he ends up a quadriplegic. This woman named Louisa Clark ends up taking a job as his caretaker, and that's really all I'm going to say because I really feel like if you don't know about this book already, which I feel like everybody and their mother does, you should go into this not knowing anything. I got halfway through it and I just never picked it back up again, and I had always told my roommate that this was a book I was halfway through, so I didn't want to watch the movie because I wanted to read the book or finish the book before I watched the movie. And the other day we were just sitting there watching TV, couldn't really decide what to watch, and she was like, you know what I really want to watch but I know you won't watch right now is Me Before You. Like, I'm just really in the mood for that. And I was like, I'm never gonna finish that book, let's just go ahead and watch it. So we did, and y'all, it brought me so much joy, so much happiness, so many good feelings, and of course, ending made me sob. If you're familiar with this story, then you know. The ending just made me sob, and I wept. I cried the whole last 20 minutes of the movie. I cried 20 minutes after the movie. It was still hitting me in waves after I finished it. And like my roommate guessed, it renewed my drive to finish this book, and sure enough, less than a week later, actually exactly a week later, I finished it. So 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely adored this, even though it's taken me since 2017 to finish. I think I just needed to be in the right mindset, and I just absolutely adored it. If you're like me and you're in the middle of this one just sitting on it, just do it. I promise you, you'll not be disappointed. Alright, so that is everything that I finished in March. I'm trying to be a little bit more strategic about my TBRs and really only put books on my TBR that I realistically think I can get to. And I literally only had these 2 books on my TBR for March, and I finished both of them. And I put them on my TBR halfway through the month. So I think that's kind of going to be the best way for me to approach this. I have a bunch of options. April, when I'm filming this, actually starts tomorrow, but I'm really trying to realistically figure out what's going to work for me. So I think that that is kind of the way I'm going to go over these next couple of months to not overwhelm myself, to just be a little bit more realistic. My goal is literally just to finish 12 books this year, which is 1 book a month. That's my only goal. I'd really like to accomplish it. So far I'm technically on track because it's March and I've read 3 books. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully if you're watching this video, then it means that I had the courage to post it. I will say one of my biggest deterrents the last time I filmed like a lengthy update video was really just a fear that I was going to get a lot of nasty comments saying no one really cared that I was gone. Either that or just kind of one of these, really, you're making an update video 5 years later, you've been gone from your channel for 5 years, like it's like at this point no one remembers who you are, your subscribers don't remember who you are. That was really just my biggest fear, that literally no one was going to care, and I was really just more going to get hate comments for just reappearing after 5 years. Like, I really, in theory, have to start from scratch. Anyway, thank you guys so much for sticking with me. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm just really looking forward to connecting with you guys again. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye.
What's that on that beat? Oh. Baby, I'm wasted.